Okay, so there have been some murmurs about teams being interested in Eagles quarterback Tanner McKee. Meanwhile, an NFC team continues to take shots at the Eagles. What's it going to take to stop? But that's not all. Mel Kiper released his official NFL 2-round mock draft. The Philadelphia Eagles select. We also talk about somebody wanting Brandon Graham back. Plus, CJ Johnson releases a message to Philly and why the Eagles don't need to draft a wide receiver. What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. Let's go ahead and remind everybody that the Eagles are Super Bowl champions by hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel, and turning on that notification bell so you don't miss the videos. So a couple weeks back, the NFL released the home and away games for each NFL team. As the Super Bowl champions, of course, week 1, we are playing in Philly, where we will drop the banner. However, Amon-Ra St. Brown said on this podcast a couple weeks ago that he wanted to play the Eagles week 1. Instead of playing a team that embarrassed y'all in the divisional round, sending you home one and done after getting the first round bye. Anyways, yesterday he was on the Kevin Hart show, Cold as Balls, and you gotta hear what they talked about.
What are the predictions?
We want to win a Super Bowl.
I know, but
Nothing.
we can't because the Eagles
You
are
just
going to
won
be in
one.
our way. That's what I wanted to hear.
Hopefully we play you guys week 1.
Oh, is that your wish?
It is.
Well, guess what? I'm gonna make a call. You want us, you got us. You're welcome, and I'm sorry.
I know, he's a competitor. He should want to play the best team in the league. That's cool. But I agree with Kevin Hart. Be careful what you wish for. Now, that's nothing against Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's a great wide receiver, and they got a good team. We'll see how they rebound without Ben Johnson, just like we got a rebound without Kellen Moore. However, Kevin Patula has been with Jalen Hurts his whole career and been around every single coordinator that Jalen Hurts has had, the successful ones and the unsuccessful ones, so he knows at least what makes this Eagles team go. I don't know why I hear people talk about the Eagles going wide receiver early. Jahan Dotson is still on his team. It might only be for 1 year, but I think in year 2, we're going to see a better version of him, especially if Dallas Goedert ends up leaving and we don't end up drafting a tight end because of the potential of Granson, Calcaterra, and Bryant, meaning there might not be that much production from that spot this year, although Calcaterra did come clutch multiple times, but them targets could end up going to Jahan Dotson, who's been in the lab putting in work just like all the other Eagle players. Think about when we traded for him. He didn't have a full offseason with the Eagles. He didn't know the system or Jalen Hurts, and he had to find his role. But with the work he's putting in, the fact that he's in a prove-it year because he'll be a free agent after the season, I'm expecting his role to just be a little bit better. Last year, he came in clutch multiple times when we needed him to. Big time catch in the Jags game where things started to look a little weird. Touchdown catch from Jalen Hurts in Wild Card Weekend when the offense was stuck a little. And let's not forget him opening up the Super Bowl with that big time play that eventually led to BTA. Now, I know you need depth, but I think you can get a veteran guy in here cheap and or draft late. I don't think you need to invest capital early, at least not now. Moving on to something I heard that I didn't really like, although I'm not sure how good the source is. The Philly Times on Twitter said this a couple days ago. Teams are reportedly interested in Tanner McKee. Now, again, this is the only place I heard that from, and they're not saying that the Eagles are interested in trading Tanner McKee. They're saying teams are interested in Tanner McKee. Big time difference. Simply because if I have a car that is not for sale and somebody calls me talking about they want to buy it, I'm going to say it's not for sale. So the only thing I'm going to even listen to is a big price. With that being said, what would I even consider trading Tanner McKee for? I love this dude as a backup, not only for the Giants game, but what he also did in a limited sample size versus the Cowboys. But of course, the Giants game impressed me as it was his first start going against the Giants number ones. Dotson was your wide receiver 1, although Dallas Goedert played half the game. Still, he made throw after throw after throw, big third downs, fourth downs. He wasn't super mobile, but he showed he could bounce around in the pocket, roll out, do a lot of different things. Eagle fans have liked him since the preseason, and what he did in his limited backup sample size confirmed it. So I don't even want to get rid of Tanner McKee at all. Some people can say, well, the Eagles traded Kenny Pickett for DTR, who has upside as well and is more mobile and could be Jalen Hurts' backup. I just don't want to give up Tanner McKee, and I like DTR, just not more than our guy Tanner. Let me know your thoughts on that because I do find it interesting. If somebody offered us something crazy, then you might have to consider it. Although I am a big Tanner McKee fan, and for those saying why would somebody offer something big, simply because the Eagles aren't shopping them. If Philly Times is right, they're calling us. So that means the offer would have to be decent. Again, I got to hear from y'all in the chat. I took my son to his first game with Tanner McKee starting versus the Giants. Now, before we talk about somebody wanting Brandon Graham back, plus the Eagles finally invite a safety in on a top 30 visit, meanwhile, Mel Kiper releases his final 2-round mock draft. Who does he have the Eagles taking? And more, let's hear a word from our sponsor. Are you tired of your old wallet? Don't lie. Well, look no further. Ekster got you covered with some of the coolest wallet designs I've ever seen. A flick of a button and your cards pop out. The easiest access ever. Plus, a money strap to put your cash in the front. This wallet can hold up to 12 cards utilizing the back plate. Or use that space for your card tracker. I'm telling you, this thing connects to your iPhone. And if you misplace your wallet somewhere in your house, it helps you find it. And the best thing about these wallets is it blocks RFID from wireless theft. As for their other style, it's premium leather. It also has the quick flick function to access cards easy and has every single thing that the other one had, including the tracker card, which you can put inside a wallet or outside a wallet. And of course, your cash could go a multitude of places in this one. And both of them come in a variety of colors. So enjoy up to 30% off until May 19th. Use my link/promo code Philly at checkout to get an additional 10% saving. Once again, click the link in the description or use the QR code on the top right. Then don't forget to use promo code Philly at checkout to get an additional 10% savings. Let's quickly talk about CJGJ and the message he had on IG.
People showed me their true colors when I got traded. Shit. That's why you ain't heard or seen from me, dig?
I know he's no longer an Eagle, and we are going to be okay at safety. I have faith in the plan, but I still got love for CJGJ. 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 win. I wish things could have worked out. For whatever reason, he's gone. Whether it's really something behind the scenes and or money, it is what it is. I'm just curious about who this is to. Players, coaches, because he eventually posted on Twitter that he wasn't talking about the fans. Anyways, wish you luck, big dog, unless for some strange reason you play against the Eagles in a big game. As for what Vic Fangio said about Brandon Graham, we've been watching cut-ups of our season, and I just said the other day, maybe we have to talk BG into coming back out of retirement because when he gets on the tape, he still looks good. He had a great career. Interesting. This ain't even the first time that Fangio mentioned something like that. However, today we saw BG on New Heights podcast. He also was on the K Adams show. I think he went out like a champ. I think he was ready to retire, and I don't see him coming back again. What a great last ride, though. Much love, BG. From number 54 all the way to number 55, where you had over 200 regular season games played, 3 legends down, but 1 still remains. Now let's switch things over to the NFL draft as Mel Kiper put out his official final mock draft, 2 rounds. Let's see who he has to the Eagles. But first, some bad news. He has at 27 to the Baltimore Ravens, Malachi Starks, safety out of Georgia, and at number 28 to the Detroit Lions, Donovan Ezaraku, outside linebacker / edge out of Boston College. 2 guys I know the Eagles could be interested in, but according to Mel Kiper, we would have to move up to get these guys. Now for the Eagles pick. With the 32nd pick in the NFL draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select James Pierce Jr., outside linebacker / edge out of Tennessee, which I think would be a steal simply because if he is there at 32, it's only because of the character issues, which if the Eagles draft him, I'm trusting Howie Roseman to do his due diligence on his character. But this kid is 6'5", 243, and can move. He ran a 4.47 40, which was fastest for all defensive linemen in 2025. In his last 2 years at Tennessee, he had 66 combined tackles, 28 tackles for loss, 2 passes deflected, 1 interception, and 17.5 sacks. Pro Football Focus yesterday tweeted James Pierce Jr. in 2024, a 23.3% pressure rate, first among all FBS edge defenders. The combination of power and speed is there to be able to bend outside, swim move inside. The dude has a lot in his arsenal, and he can definitely play the run. Simply put, it's the character issues. And as I said earlier, if Howie Roseman drafts him, then he did his due diligence. People were talking about Jalen Carter, and so far, so good. As I said he would, because I believe in this organization. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section on James Pearson Jr. Again, Mel Kiper's been doing this for a long time, but he's definitely not always right. Probably more wrong than right, especially with him having this, the 39th pick. That is in the second round. The Chicago Bears draft Walter Nolan, D-tackle out of Ole Miss. That means, according to Mel Kiper, the Eagles had a top pass rusher and a top D-tackle, and they went pass rusher. Again, if it was at an M2, who would you pick? Let me know that as well. So now let's get to Mel Kiper's second pick. With the 64th pick in the NFL draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Kevin Winston Jr., safety from Penn State. Now, last year, he only played 3 games due to an injury, I guess. But in 2023, he played all 13, had 61 combined tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 5 passes defended, 2 fumble recoveries, and an interception. The kid is 6'2", 205, and he's known as a top-tier tackler. However, a knock is that he's slow. I think he ran a 4.5. That would mean James Pearson Jr. is faster than him. So in man coverage, I don't know how he'll do. However, in Vic Fangio's scheme, 2 high safeties, I think you could utilize his IQ and ability to read plays and react. I believe Pro Football Focus has him ranked as the 4th best safety overall. Got to do some more due diligence on him because I've looked at other safeties in his draft, not so much him. So I find this pick interesting to say the least. The funny thing is, the Eagles invited the other safety from Penn State, Jalen Reed, as a top 30 visit. Not just the Eagles, but so did the Giants. This guy is a hard-hitting tackler as well. He also struggles in man, but can play the 2 safety look, but he's utilized in Penn State as a blitzer. Anthony DeBonis said Reed recorded 12 pressures and just 41 pass rushing snaps in 2024. According to Pro Football Focus, that's a pressure rate of 29.2%. If we end up going to Jalen, Simmons said, I still believe in Cindy Brown. I just think we need to have depth there and competition because iron sharpens iron. Lastly, listen to A.J. Brown's advice to Miami University. I love it.
Everybody think like, when I get this, I'm gonna be satisfied. When I get this, I'm gonna be set. But that's not the case, because when you do get that, will you be satisfied? Will you be fulfilled? And I can guarantee you, if you're chasing money, if you all are chasing money in this room, I would tell you all to stop. Chase your purpose. Chase a better version of yourself. Because I say this, if you get that money, you get what you want. Only thing that comes out is your bigger flaws. The real you shows up. I see it time and time again in NFL, and I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, but I see it so many times. Your vices shows up loud and bright when you have that money, because you're so fulfilling. You're trying so hard to get that money. But if you chase your purpose, you chase a better version of you, the money will chase you, guys. The opportunities will chase you. No, you won't have to beg for an opportunity. The opportunity will be begging to have you.
If AJ's words have touched your heart so far, we can just let him know. So maybe by a round of applause.
Can we get a go bird?
AJ Brown growing as a player and person. With all that being said, click the link in the description. Go get your Ekster wallets. I promise you won't regret it. Use promo code Philly. Also, like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you stop missing episodes. Check if your notifications are working. Lastly, leave a comment. I love hearing from y'all. Y'all the best. Until next time, you know what time it is. We out.